Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind adjust the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine.
I was the first supercomputer scientist that articulated how he experimentally discovered massively parallel processing and discovered it as the technology that makes computers faster and makes supercomputers fastest, and invented how and why to use that new supercomputer knowledge to build a new supercomputer that encircled a globe and encircled it in the manner the internet encircled a globe. In the 1980s, I articulated how I named each of my 65,536 processors, and I articulated how I commanded each processor to send and receive emails and do so to and from the other 65,535 processors. This technical aspect of my contribution to the experimental discovery of parallel processing was lost to the lay public in part because it involved abstract and dense mathematical knowledge of calculus, algebra, topology, and graph theory. My system of coupled nonlinear and time-dependent partial differential equations of modern mathematics, called Emeagwali's equations, were developed only for research computational mathematicians. It's impossible for the lay person to understand partial differential equations. How to accurately solve partial differential equations could only be understood by a few dozen people that were actually experimenting with massively parallel processing supercomputers. Over the years, I learned that conversations about parallel processing is a party spoiler, even amongst supercomputer scientists that only believe in vector processing, supercomputing. I began programming sequential processing supercomputers on Thursday, June 20, 1974, at age 19 at 1800 Southwest Campus Way, Corvallis, Oregon, United States. That sequential processing supercomputer was the world's fastest in the mid-1960s. By definition, a sequential processing supercomputer is powered by only one powerful processor. Therefore, it was not necessary for me to name that sole processor. My unique naming of my 65,536 commodity off-the-shelf processors was the abstract elephant in the supercomputer center. Those 65,536 unique names were the as many uninvited guests to the unexplored territory of the massively parallel processing supercomputer. That lack of understanding of how to uniquely name those processors added weight to the saying that parallel processing is a huge waste of everybody's time. The June 14th, 1976 issue of Computer World the flagship publication of the world of computing, described parallel processing as a quote-unquote waste of time.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.